Good morning, new beekeepers. Today I've got 10 items that you need your first year in beekeeping, 3 that you need immediately before you ever get bees, and 1 I'm going to show you right now. Your hive tool. So let's get into it. Okay, the first tool I showed you just a minute ago is the hive tool. This is called a J hook. It has a little J on the end that allows you to go in on the edge of the frame and help you pull it out. The other end has tapered corners. There we go. That allows you to wedge this in between the frames to separate the frames. The bees do a real good job of propolizing everything, so you can't just reach in there and pull them out. You got to separate them. This also on this end allows you to wedge them apart. Now I'll show you a picture here of a scraping tool that has a curved end. It allows you, it's a little bit better than the J tool for scraping propolis accumulation and burr comb off the top of the frames. And it's also much better for killing the hive beetles. This one, you got to kind of smash them, but with the scraper tool, you can just pulverize the little boogers. It's real important that you be able to kill them. All right, number 2, smoker. This is the first item that I recommend that you spend your money on. Don't buy the cheapest. Buy the good one. This one has a metal cage around it. Keep you from laying it down and burning stuff. The cage goes all the way around the bottom, so you can set it down on things and it's not as likely to melt or set fire. Has a leather bellows, which means it's going to last for a very long time. As you can see by the discolorization, they get very hot. So these things are necessary. The day damp tool that I'll show you a picture of up here is the one I'm ordering. It's a 10-inch. It has a metal heat shield right here to keep your fingers from getting burnt when you're working your tool. It's good to have the ring on the top that helps be able to open and close it. So that's pretty handy. Inside, at the very bottom, yeah, you can see the holes, things with perforations in it. That's a little baffle that keeps your fuel from blocking the air inlet in the bottom, so air can go through it. If you can find a good one that has another baffle in the top, that's to keep it's to help with sparks. And if you're using fuel pellets, keeps your fuel pellets from going out the top. I use fuel pellets and shaved pine. And I got another video that you can watch that I showed how to light and keep your smoker running. It was before I started with the pellets. So all you have to do is, after you load a bunch of the pine shavings in it, you drop 2 or 3 handsful of the wood pellets in and puff it some more until they're good and burning good, and you've got hours of good burning fuel. So spend the money on the smoker. I've got a couple of other pictures here of other smokers that are available on the market. They're good. They range from very small ones to very expensive. They have some electric ones that actually don't have smoke. They're kind of vapes, e-vapes for bees. They're rather expensive. I wouldn't go that route. Some people don't use smoke. They mist sugar water on the bees to calm them, which is another alternative. But spend your money, get a good smoker, because you really need your smoker burning all the time. You probably can't guess what the next item is. Any guesses? Well, the next item that you absolutely have to have is a veil. Now this is very minimalistic. This is one that fits over your head, straps under your shoulders, and it keeps you from getting stung in the face, which is very important, because when you get stung in the face, it's very painful. And it's very dangerous, especially you could get stung in the eye or in the nose, on the lips. It's very dangerous. For a new beekeeper, I recommend a full suit. Got pictures of full suits. I bought the Day Dance full suit with the fencing by the 3-layer suit. You won't get stung. I haven't been stung in over a year because I buy the good suit. Now, once you've had experience, you can start going out. I go out to my bees and feed them without any protective gear. It's because I know how they react when I take the top off to feed them. Back when I started, my bees didn't like me, I didn't like them, and I wouldn't go out without a full suit. So now I can feed them without anything. I'm still not brave enough to go without gloves. And that's part of the suit that you need. You don't want these. These are heavy grilling gloves. Just brought them out for the fun of it. There are several types of gloves, and I'm going to show you pictures of several different ones that Cayman Reynolds recommends. I've seen them. They're Apis tactical gloves. I've got several pictures of them. He also recommended 8 mil nitrile gloves. That's the little plastic gloves that you see dishwashers and handyman and stuff. They'll wear plastic gloves. They recommend 8 mil. I found 7 mil. If you buy the 5 mil, you'll get stung through them. If you buy the 8 mil, you'll still get stung through them. They like to go for your wrists, and all of those nitrile gloves only cover your hands. But with the nitrile gloves, you have a lot more feeling. You're able to pull the hives up easier. You can catch queens with them. But if you use the normal hive suit gloves, the nice protective 3-layer ones that you can't get stung through, you're a little more clumsy with them. So, but at first you're going to be anyway, so you really need to spend money on some good gloves. Okay, these are heavy gloves. They are vented, and they go all the way up to the elbow. That means you've got long sleeves on your suit, you've got extended length on your gloves, and that gives you double the protection around your wrist where they really like to sting you. So spend the money, get some decent gloves. The suit and the gloves and the smoker are the most important good tools that you're going to go in your arsenal. So spend the money there. You can buy both of the hive tools. You can buy 2 or 3 smokers if you want. I would only get one good one. With only 2 hives, which is what I recommend you start with, you'll only need one. You can use a hot smoker like mine, the small one. This is called an 8-inch, I believe, 7-inch, something like that. It will run for 2 to 3 hours, no problem at all. If you stock it with I've done that with pine shavings most of this year. And when I got to 4 hives, I run out of fuel. So I have to stop between, I do 2, refuel, do 2 more. But with the 10-inch day damp that I'm fixing to order and with this smoke of fuel pellets in there, it'll last for 3 or 4 hours easily, which is, for my speed, plenty. So I recommend on the suit and the gloves and the smoker, buy the good ones. Don't waste your time on buying the cheap ones. You'll regret it. So, if you feel really brave and you want to go with the veil and some nitrile gloves, dressed like short sleeve shorts, then expect to get stung. But your first year, I really recommend you go with a full suit. Almost forgot one of the real expensive tools that you'll need. You need an expensive stick. This goes in the end of the smoker, so when you're done working on your hives, you stick this in the output on your smoker, and then it smothers the flame out, so you've got fuel left when you get ready to start it up next time. So, especially with the smoker pellets, You really need to put this out, otherwise it's going to sit there and burn for hours, and you got a fire hazard. You can buy metal boxes to put your smoker in to keep it from falling over and burning stuff. I've got a metal table I set mine on, put this in it, and then it's in my storage trailer, so there's nothing else that it can touch to burn, so it has plenty of time to cool off. Okay, here we go. We got through the first 4. If you missed it, the gloves were number 4. So we're going to go on to number 5, which is the frame tool. What this is a tool that allows you to clamp on top of the frame. So when you pull it loose with the hive tool, you can clamp onto it with this frame tool and you pull the frame out. It's a whole lot easier to deal with. You don't have to get your fingers down in the propolis and the bees. But my main idea is a full honey frame is pretty heavy, and it takes 2 hands to pick it up and a third hand to pry it out with the hive tool. So it's a little bit difficult, but the frame tool allows you to lift it up without any trouble at all. So it's a pretty good recommendation. Number 6 would be the frame stand. So once you get this frame pulled out, you got to have somewhere to pull it, because you need to set one of them, at least one, outside the box so that you got room to manipulate your frames out, so you can see your queen easier without taking the chance of killing her. So this frame tool, I got pictures of them, sits on the side of the box, and it allows you to set these frames, 2 or 3 frames outside the box while you do your investigation. The next thing, number 7, is a feeder and jars. You see my other videos, you know I recommend David Burns feeder. It allows you to set 2 jars and possibly a pollen patty on the top. I've made my own similar to his, but you can purchase his. And it allows you to set 2 jars, quart jars, half-gallon jars, whatever you want to do on the top. And allows you to feed the bees through the top of the box so that there's no robbing problems caused by it. It also allows you to go out there without a suit on and refill the jars and put them back on the top, because the bees can't get through the screens that the jars sit on top of. It's my recommended feeder. There's several other tub type feeders that sit on the top. I seriously suggest that you don't ever buy a front feeder or do open feeding, because that invites robbers to come in and steal all the honey out of your hive. All right, so the next thing you got to have is equipment to make your sugar water. So you get a big pan, like a jarring pan or a big pan, sit on top of the stove. You don't actually have to heat it, but you use water as hot as you can get out of your faucet. And you mix your sugar and water in that, and then you pour it into your jars. And you need spoons to measure with, additives that you'll want to put in your sugar water. You'll need spoons, cups, and things to pour it into your jars. You'll always want to separate your beekeeping tools from your household tools, because they get propolis all over them and it's very hard to get off. They get sticky. You don't want to wash them in the dishwasher, because then you get propolis all over the dishwasher. So keep your hive tools separate from your household tools. The next thing you're going to want pretty quickly is the sweeper pads. What these are for is to control your hive beetles pretty quickly after you get started. If you see one, there's a dozen in there, and they multiply pretty quickly. They're dry, non-scented sweeper sheets, and I got a picture of the ones you can get from Walmart. You can cut them in half, put them in the top of your box in the brood area. The bees will chase them into them, and they get stuck. Then you take them out every week or two, and you throw them away and put it in another sheet. They will occasionally catch a bee, which is unfortunate, but losing one bee compared to losing the entire hive to beetle larvae, it's well worth it. You can easily control them with the Swiffer sheets. There are also beetle blasters. Got a picture of those. You've put mineral oil or vegetable oil or olive oil in these, and the bees will chase the beetles into the traps. The beetles fall into the oil and they die. And then every now and then, when they start to get full, you take them out, throw them away. Another control for beetles. The other control for beetles is that helps is the screen bottom board. So I've already mentioned that in the fact. Then you got to move on taking care of your varroa mites. Assuming that you don't want to just go treatment free, which is a bad idea, especially in the south, varroa mites will take over your hive, and the diseases they bring, they'll kill your bees pretty quick, or your bees will abscond. So you want to get the Varroa Easy Check. In it, you use 80% or better alcohol. You put 300 bees in it. I've got another video that shows you how to do that. You put 300 bees in the cup with half full of alcohol, swish them around for a minute. It kills the bees, unfortunately, but it also kills the mites. Then you can get a count on those, and you know how bad your mites are to know how much treatment you're going to need to control them. You can also use Dawn detergent, a couple of tablespoons in a gallon of water, and it's easier to keep up with because you don't have the alcohol that evaporates, and you can use the Dawn detergent and it works just as well. I've been told that it works just as well. I haven't tried it. Then you need hive treatments. I use HopGuard 3. Seems to work pretty good for me. Statistically, it's a little lower efficacy than some of the other ones, but you need to investigate these on your own based on the temperature and climate in your area. Some work, some don't. Need to follow the label instructions. Apply them only by the label instructions. The label is the law, like everybody says. So follow those instructions. You'll want a bucket for your smoker fuel. I recommend that you get what's called a gamma lid. It fits down over your bucket and then supplies a screw top. Got a picture of that? Well, it doesn't show a picture of the bucket, but many of the other people use these buckets and lids because it screws down, it's watertight. If you're in high humidity or lots of rain, then your smoker fuel will absorb moisture. And if it's the pellets, then they swell up and they disintegrate. And you don't want to spend a bunch of money on fuel and it be wet and you're unable to use it at all. The next thing on your list is going to be a queen catcher. They make two types. I got a scissor type, which is the one that I have. I recommend that you test it catching drones. They're expendable. If you cut the heads off, then you've got plenty to spare, but you don't want to, you want to get a little experience before you use it on your actual queen. The other type up here is the one-handed queen catcher. It has a plunger type spring-loaded thing in the middle that allows you to catch your queen with one hand while you're holding the frame with the other. They're pretty gentle. You can also use it to mark your queen, so double bonus there. The next thing on the list is a 9-frame tool. If you have a 10-frame box, on your honey supers, once they get it built out a little bit, you want to space them so that there's only 9 frames in the box. What this does is it spreads the frames out so the bees will build the comb out quite a bit wider, and that allows them to put a lot more honey in it. And when you get ready to extract it and you're cutting the caps off the top, that gives you a lot more room to cut the caps off because they extend past the wood, and it makes it a lot easier to use your knife to cut those caps off. Along with that, on your honey extraction, you're going to need the decapping bucket. Got a picture of the one that I made. Real simple, real cheap. I'm all about cheap. Then you're going to want strainers when you use an extractor to extract your honey, or if you're going to use the crush and strain method, then you're going to need several different strainers. And we'll probably look at that some other time. You can look at my video on honey extraction. You can see the strainers that I used. And that's most of the tools you're going to need your first year. There may be a few other little things that you'll pick up along the way, but for the most part, the first three, the hive tool, the smoker, and a good protective suit. Those are your most important. The rest of these, you can do without them. I don't have a frame lifter yet. I'm going to have one next year. Frame stand, I got it because it's real handy. Got the jars and the feeders and all this stuff, but the feeder's pretty important because you've got to feed the bees the first year. So there we go. Now you know what the tools are that you're going to need for your first year and beyond. Keep watching my videos. If you haven't seen the rest of the videos in this series, go ahead and watch them. I'm going to have some more coming out soon on frames. I also have another short one coming out soon on bee suits. Probably go ahead and briefly cover some of the treatments that are available out there to give you kind of an idea on what's going on. But do your research on those. Follow the instructions and control your mites. If you don't, then your bees will abscond or the viruses will kill them, and you'll never be able to get them through the winter if you don't get them under control before the winter comes up. Well, thanks for watching. Watch some of my other videos, spread the word, subscribe and share, and hit the like button if you like it. And that helps generate more traffic to my site and lets me know that you like what I'm doing and I can generate. Till next time, we'll see you later.